Dave Scalora, how are you?
Good, Mark. Happy New Year. We made it through 2020.
We
I'm a
made it
happy
through
man.
2020. We're in 2021, but 2020 was a big statistical gumbo. Boy, did we have things going on. We're going to talk about San Mateo County, but we need Michelle Ronco in on this.
Hi guys.
Michelle.
Here I
There she is.
am.
Hey,
Yeah,
Michelle.
let's talk.
Yeah, take us to San Mateo County, primarily single family, right?
Primarily, we'll put in some condo, townhome, or common interest nuggets. Yeah, but let's focus in on highlighting. I mean, I don't know how really to talk about 2020, except for to jump in with some numbers. So,
Got it.
I started off with median price, right? And so here you can see San Mateo County single family homes is the last 3 years of median prices by month. Which shows you that one, there has been some volatility in terms of when prices peak in that county over the last few years, but it does show very clearly that the second half of 2020 was very strong, starting in June, all the way through the end of the year. Look at that uptick in December even. I mean, it was unusual to see prices so high towards the end of the year. The peak was in August of 2020, 1.8 million on the median price for single family homes. So that's an all-time high, right? The prior peak was in May of 2019 at 1.765. So just snuck up there, but all-time high median sale price in San Mateo County in 2020, which I think in March, when we all walked out of the buildings, Mark, I'm not sure that we knew that that would happen. We were all very nervous, but ultimately very fruitful for your sellers in San Mateo County for sure.
Right. And I'm not sure if San Mateo County actually knew we were having a pandemic based on those median prices, but let's jump over into how that median price affected the complete sales volumes for last year.
Absolutely. It was one of the more shocking things shocking. Yes, shocking.
Yeah,
I'm going
I
to
think
stick with
that's all right.
shocking because, when we walked out in March, and you can see it from this slide, this is 2020 and 2019 sale volume, the number of dollars transacted by month. And you can see here that when we left in March, we weren't sure what was going to happen. And April and May were quite concerning. A lot of TFTs, a lot of withdrawn properties, but ever since then, I mean, June, July, August, I mean, even through the rest of the year, we just saw a lot of dollars transacted. So a lot of brokers said that spring to summer, but what they didn't know, I guess none of us knew, was that it was going to continue all throughout the fall and winter as well, which proved to be really exceptional. October of 2020 was the highest point of sale volume, but it started in July. It's a definite shift from the cycle we usually see. I mean, it's about 11% over what we saw a year ago too. So it wasn't just $2. I mean, we're talking about quite a few dollars here that was transacted. And for anybody who might say, well, if you have the higher median prices, well, sure, you're going to see an increase in the sale volume, but what about the closed sales? Well, we track that as well. So this is same thing, 2020 versus 2019, the month version of that. And we can see here that even in number of closed sales, we saw those properties increase. So you're not gonna believe it. In San Mateo County, I got a tie. For the number of closed sales in 2020 and 2019. I happen to believe that since the 14th of the month, a comp came in or something and pushed it over. So it could be a tie or it could be more. These people close out their sales a little late sometimes, but really close, if not greater, in October with 504 sales, the highest peak. Second highest was July. So we saw a lot of closed sales in 2020, Mark.
Now, moving into sort of the speed of this marketplace, right? We got the pricing that's very strong. Now we move into, well, how fast did those prices come? It looks like 2020 was a little better from the seller's perspective than 2019. Would you?
Yes, the graph proves it. We saw similar numbers on a monthly basis, right? 13 versus 14, 12 versus 14. So during the year, we didn't see necessarily a huge change. Two things that stick out are we didn't see the seasonal slowdowns, right? So we usually at the end of the year and at the beginning of the year see it slow down. I mean, way slow down, 30 days. And we didn't see that in 2020. And also, while it doesn't look substantially better than a year ago. Keep in mind, no showings. Showings were, hard. No open houses is what I should say. And so you were moving less people through, and yet homes were selling as fast, in general in the county. And so that's really impressive. If you want to look at sold the DOM for closed sales versus median sale price, you can see here, left hand side of the graph 2018, middle of the graph 2019. This is a 3-year look, Mark, and you can see how on the right hand side of the graph, it's 2020 was a lot different than the last couple of years. And remember, 2018 was awesome too in San Mateo County. So for your sellers, it was an exceptional year in terms of things sold quickly, and they sold for a lot. So it was quite the year for your sellers, and a tough one for your buyers for sure.
Now, way back in the early part of last year, the talk was all about inventory, right? And even our partner economist, Dr. Elliot Eisenberg, talked about the inventory. Keep an eye on that. Did that roll out? Is that how it laid out this year?
Absolutely, it did. I mean, if you look at inventory in 2020, San Mateo County had actually a little more than some of our other counties, right? So you can see with the 2019 on the left and 2020 on the right, you can see that, it was pretty similar. So the price is that yellow line. So the price went up. And usually when inventory goes down, prices go up. That's supply and demand. In this particular case, we still had pretty considerable inventory. It's just that prices also went up. And so things were coming on the market and then coming back off the market, but they were kind of lingering a little. You had a little bit more choice. So that's good in terms of the market having buyers, luring out buyers and saying there is something out there for you. If you look at this, which is 3 years worth of new listings, you can see here that we went off cycle March, April, May, because 2020 is that blue line, right? So it's just by month. We went off cycle March, April, May, but then it was very consistent, right? In terms of new sales, we saw it a little higher than usual in the fall into winter, but we saw the seasonal declines. It was just, will there be enough new listings coming on here that people feel like they have something to buy, that there's a reason to go out and look, and will they continue to pay those higher prices for the properties that are available? So that's something Dr. Elliot Eisenberg, he said it 2019 going into 2020, and it's something we're definitely keep our eye on as we move into 2021.
Now, you're going to bring us something new here. We've been talking about inventory, but we talked about how fast the inventory is getting sort of chewed up on that days on market number. But you're going to show us how many months of how many months of inventory did we have to work with at given times of the year?
Absolutely. So this is not something we usually cover. This is a slide from NAR, right? So this is a national number. They call it months supply of inventory. We call it months to sell. You can hear lots of different ways of saying it, but essentially, Mark, what it is at the current rate of sales, how long would it take you to run out of inventory? Right. And this is NAR saying, man, it was an all-time low. And so what we're saying is look at those national numbers, all-time low, and plot them against San Mateo County. And you can see that even at a national all-time low, San Mateo County is very, very low. I mean, getting near 1 month of inventory, right? So you'd run out in 1 month in some of these cases. It's, December was less than a month. We saw it in Santa Clara County too. So what's out there to be purchased is definitely an issue. Going into 2021, there were fewer price reductions. I mean, if I want to just throw out some highlights, Mark, 2020, there were fewer price reductions than in 2019. The sale to list price ratio was a little bit stagnant in San Mateo County, but we heard about a lot of multiple offer situations. Right. We saw price and closed sale peaks range within the county. We saw cities peak at different times. And we saw the price per square foot really change around. So where was the money moving within the markets? We kind of saw that move around too in San Mateo County. So it was a really interesting year. I mean, I don't know that any of us thought it might be this way, except for, well, Elliot, Dr.
Elliot,
Eisenberg.
Dr.
You know,
Eisenberg sort of
he
nailed it.
he nailed it. He was so right. He talked about inventory. He talked about purchasing power. He talked about people coming out and purchasing in 2020, and it really happened. He also, at the beginning of the pandemic, Mark, talked about the fact that, by the end of the year, we'd be right at levels of prior years. And he was right. We exceeded it in a lot of cases. And so going into 2021, I cannot be predictive. He can. And luckily, we're having him on an MLS Listings Live.
Wow. Now
Yeah.
that's going to be February 4th, 1 o'clock. I'm gonna recommend to all our listeners, get there early, because that virtual auditorium is probably going to fill right up.
I would think so. I mean, you can ask him some questions. We have some questions for him. We're going to have him talk about, the market. He'll talk specifically about the Bay Area. He's a national guy, but he's going to put some time into us. And I'm really excited about it. Last year we did this, and it was a really, really great event. So hopefully everybody will join us for that, because it's going to be really exciting.
So Michelle, you and I are on screen, Dave's on screen with us, but there are so many people making these monthly reports from Aculus, making them happen every month. I love these faces.
Absolutely. I mean, with the videos, with our data reports, with all of the content that's produced by Aculus, there's a team of us. So we wanted to say thank you, and not only to the team, Mark, that helps us out so much, but also to our viewers, and be really thankful for people who come back month after month, to hear what's going on in these markets. We're going to try to bring you new and exciting content every month, but we do that with the help of a lot of people. So we wanted to say thank you to our teams. And thanks to the viewers, all of our agents and, MLS Listings agents. We just love it.
Yeah. And I think I'm going to add a thank you to all those viewers who have written in during the show or after the show saying, hey, can you show us this? Can we look at that? Giving us some recommendations, giving us the feedback that continues to make the Aculus program so successful.
Absolutely. We're really thankful, and we're looking forward to 2021, Mark. It should be great. We'll be back next month with another monthly look.
Sounds great.
Here we go again.
Look forward to it.
All right, Mark.
We'll see everybody soon.
Make sure to check out our pro support page for additional videos on a full range of topics. And don't forget to click that subscribe button on our MLS Listings YouTube page.